Welcome back, everyone. Between the pandemic, high unemployment, and the holiday shopping season, debt is a growing concern for millions of Americans. And of course, we've all heard these horror stories about pushy debt collectors that threaten and harass and constantly call. Well, those collectors are supposed to be playing by the rules. But what rules exactly? Ed Herman from the law firm Brown and Crouppen can answer that question. Hey, Ed, how are you?
I'm doing well.
So the premise of this is there's something called the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. Explain to our viewers in layman's terms what that does to limit what debt collectors can do.
Well, and bear in mind, the first thing you need to know is this applies to debt collectors. It does not apply to everybody who's collecting a debt. If they're the one that you owe the debt to, let's say it's Barnes Jewish Hospital. If Barnes is calling you or trying to collect the debt, they're not covered by the act. But as soon as they hand it over to a third-party collection agency, they are bound by the act, and it prevents them from doing a lot of things, mostly from harassing you. They can't call before a certain hour. They can't call after a certain hour unless you've given them permission. They can't call you at work if they've been told that you can't take calls at work. They can't harass your family members. And one of the things I want to give to everybody as advice is you can request that they don't call you at all, that all of their communication is in writing. And if you make that request, they have to honor it. And that in and of itself are going to stop those bill collector calls right away. If they violate these things, you can actually hire attorneys that handle violations of the FDCPA, and they might actually wind up owing you money. They also can't lie to you. They can't suggest to you that you're going to get arrested, that you're going to go to jail. These things are not true. That's not a remedy in a civil collections case. They can't claim that they can start garnishing your wages until they actually have a court order that allows them to do that. So they have to be very, very careful. And you'd be shocked as to how many times they violate these rules, because those tactics are very effective in getting people to cough up some money. So it's important for you to know basically what your rights are. And I guess what I'd also add to that is do not ignore a summons to court. If you do that, you're going to be in bad shape, because the entire debt is going to be awarded to them, plus court costs and maybe even interest. And then they can start garnishing your wages. So if you do get a summons to go to court, at least show up, even if you don't have an attorney. Talk to the attorney and work something out, because they're always willing to take some type of a payment plan rather than get nothing on their debt. And so that's always an option for you, but you can't just ignore it. If you ignore it, you're going to wind up in bigger trouble.
And it bears repeating, even if it doesn't reach summons status, if you think a debt collector's violated the law, reach out to an attorney who specializes in this kind of thing. Ed, thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it.
Always.
It's easy to get in touch with Brown and Crouppen. You can call them anytime at 314-222-2222 or check out their website. That's getbc.com.